Om Shri Ganeshaya Namo Namah. Greetings to everyone world over, all our brothers and sisters across the globe, wherever you are. We extend you a very warm, very hearty welcome. That is Saturday, 24th of August 2024, and it is 9 p.m. in India. So, people, those are joining us from Canada, United States, Latin America. It's a green morning to all of you. People, those are in Europe and that part of the world. It's a great afternoon, green afternoon to all of you. And people, those are surrounding Bharat nearby, wishing you all a very, very happy green evening. Ladies and gentlemen, there are three important areas we wish to share with you today. We are focusing today on vocational teachers and particularly how to build their capabilities. And when we talk about our students, our youth, we got to take on the project-based learning approach in education ecosystem. Real projects, lifetime projects, daily life projects, right from the time you get up in the morning until you go to sleep, what all you perform and what all you do during the day, if that should become a part of education ecosystem, what a wonderful outcome would be. So project based learning coming up in education ecosystem. This series we have taken specially because India Teachers Day is coming soon. That's on 5th of September. And if anybody wishes to share the platform with us, you can come on the Zoom. You can just send your particulars, your details on the WhatsApp at 9988447058. With these words, we are also offering complimentary membership of Chamber for Service Industry till our India's Teachers Day, 5th of September 2024. Let's move on. Innovative capability building for vocational teachers and how to embrace the project-based teaching and learning in our education ecosystem, which should transform the way education is being imparted. Now, when we talk about project-based learning methodology, there are 5 steps which each one of us we should consider, we should focus, we should think about. And when we take that into consideration, first of all, identify students' learning. Number 2, plan the specific learning activities and evaluate students' understanding. What is the best way students can understand? Put the plan into sequence in significant manner. Generate a timetable and plan for conclusion, result-oriented, meaningful exercise when we are having project-based learning approach. Now, somebody may ask, why project-based learning? Now, the project-based learning basically is transforming the vocational education by offering hands-on, real-world experiences that basically engage the students and enhance their learning outcomes. Let's talk about 5 advantages which could be really clearly seen when we are having project-based learning approach being taken in our education ecosystem. What are the real-world problems? We got to establish the personal connections. There got to be a realistic student engagement, critical thinking, practical application, student-centered approach is very important, which we all have to realize. Let's move on. What could be the training objectives as far as the project-based learning is concerned? You got to equip your teachers with the skills that are needed for project-based learning. You got to encourage the adoption of innovative teaching strategies. You got to enhance the students' engagement in the real world learning. Now, there are 3 ways. It could be knowledge based, it could be skill based, It could be attitude based. We can take on the approach whatsoever we feel most appropriate and suitable for our learners. Let's move further into the project based now. Under the project based learning is the teaching method in which the students they learn by actively engaging in the real world and personally meaningful projects. Now, there could be 5 stages we can talk about: project planning, project launch, project implementation, project conclusion, and of course, thereafter, the debriefing. That's called the project debrief. Let's move further. If we take on onward journey from here, what could be the advantages of project based learning? First of all, it's a hand on experience, development of critical thinking and problem solving skills, increase students' engagement and collaboration. There could be a deeper understanding, and it promotes hands on learning. It brings motivation and real engagement. It brings real world relevance through education. And there is a team management skills also, which students, children, youth, they acquire. Shifting from instructor to facilitator. In the project based learning environment, the teacher role shifts from a traditional instructor to a facilitator, guiding students through the learning process. The project based learning facilitator is collaborative, reflective, in command of their content, a model of agency, and solution oriented. The project based learning facilitator does frequent assessments, delivers, facilitate content in a variety of ways, communicates learning targets, plans, prepares well in advance, provides ongoing feedback to students. And when you take project based learning facilitator, what do they say? Our goal for learning today is, which is related to the project driving question. On our project rubric, you are developing in these ways to become proficient, you need to. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on further. Can we have a building, a PBL classroom? Our chamber put in lots of efforts. 1994 onward, we kept on changing and bringing new pedagogies and engagement processes, joyful learning, dance, music, singing, and theater. Everything we brought into the education ecosystem, basically to help our youth. So, creating a successful project based learning environment requires careful planning, right resources, and techniques to engage students most effectively. Now, when you talk about the project based learning, the flip and the blooms, you got to understand over here evaluation, analyzing, application, understanding, creating, driving questions, and of course flipped classrooms and community involvement, and a couple of things are there. And then at the same time, you have got video lectures, you have got real world scenario, you have got self study, you have got lots of inquiry. So like you have chemistry lab, you have physics lab, you have computer lab, there is inquiry lab. And our chamber has set up digital inspirational lab. That is the innovation of our chamber, where the voice and the choice can go together. How to leverage technology for project based learning, how it enhances the project based learning, how it is enhanced through artificial intelligence. Now, tools like online collaboration platform, digital project management tools, and educational apps support effective project based learning the most effectively. Now, implementing project based learning in the classroom, you got to define the project, you got to set learning objectives, you got to plan resources and timeline, you got to guide the students for collaborative way, and you got to monitor and assess the progress. So ideas, work, and efforts, they go hand in hand. Now comes evaluating student success. Use formative and summative assessments, peer evaluations, self reflection to evaluate student success in project based learning. You got to see acquisition of the skills and competencies, physical and mental wellness, attainment of learning outcomes, career preparation, persistence, academic achievements, and satisfaction. All they are the ingredients. Now, what could be the real world examples? Explore success stories and case studies where the project based learning has been effectively implemented in vocational education. Now, when you talk about real world example, it is very important. Why don't we teach financial literacy to all students in schools? Why don't we bring awareness about fundamental rights, duties, everything when you talk about what is Article 14, 15, 16, 30, 51A, all that is very important. And at the same time, the humanity survives on food grain. That means your agriculture and agricultural practices, the crop management, right up to the final finale, from the time you put the seed until finally it reaches the right consumer. All the processes which comes in that, they are the real world examples. Now, how do you overcome barriers? The common challenges in implementing project based learning include resources constraints and time management. Practical solutions, they can help teachers overcome these barriers the best possible way. Experiential learning resources for the innovative educators is very important. Now, there are some common student led project based learning challenges and troubleshooting tips we will talk on later. This part also one of these days. Now, building a supportive network involving parents, industry partners, and the community is crucial for the successful implementation of project based learning. You got to look ahead. There's a traditional learning and there's a project based learning. Now, in traditional learning, students are given the information they need to know. Students are asked to memorize the information, and students are assigned a problem to apply the information. Now, in the project based learning, students are assigned a problem they need to solve. Students must identify the needed information. Students learn the information and apply it to solve the problem. So, finding life purpose and making an impact, through the project based learning is something very important and at the same time, big challenge. Now, hands on project based learning workshops. Participate in hand on workshops or activities where the teachers can apply what they have learned about project based learning. Now, what to expect from a thought stretcher project based learning workshop? Let's take 3 points: rich inquiry, evidence based teaching and learning, and a project to implement with students. These are some important open discussions, particularly when you're talking about this particular ecosystem. Invite questions, open the floor for discussion to address and the queries about the project based learning process. Let it come. Empowering the future workforce by embracing project based learning, vocational, teachers, they can better prepare students for the demands of the modern workforce. It's very important. We got to understand. Now, stay connected with us. If you wish to know more, we will keep bringing such innovative programs for you. And every day there'll be a something new value addition for each one of us. So to follow up, question us, further training opportunities, please contact us on WhatsApp at 9988447058. Or you could send us an email at innovation@csi.in.net. So, project based learning is the future of education. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we finish the program today over here. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., we will be taking you to California, where Professor Deman would be talking what is ahead of formal education, and she would also be talking about the value system, knowledge system, and how everything takes place. And tomorrow evening 9 p.m., your usual program, your most awaited program, that's India Tourism this week. And we do cover with tourism your hospitality and your aviation as well. So see you tomorrow morning, where we all meet together. That's going to be at 9 a.m. with Professor Satinder Dhiman from Woodbury University, California, Burbank. And tomorrow evening, 9 p.m., don't forget to join us to take the journey forward. With these words, thank you very much for joining us today and look forward to meeting you tomorrow.